Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here. I'm so sorry that we are late, but at the same time we're also early. We're also early because the deadline today, or the deadline for Gameweek 26, it's not until how long more? It's not until about 4 hours from now, three and a half hours from now. Right, so we are late, but we are also early. Right, so let me take some time to just set up, because I just got back from work. So let me just take some time to set everything up for you guys. Let me just get some settings down before more of you guys come in. Right. So I think we pretty much have everything in order. Let me just do a little check. Let me just do a little quick check. All right. So, good morning, everyone. Nice to see all of you guys coming down early for the Gameweek 26 deadline stream. So I didn't stream in Gameweek 25 because basically I was caught up with some personal stuff. But Gameweek 25, I didn't even have time this week to put out a Gameweek 25 review or Gameweek 26 team selection video and then talk about how I did for Gameweek 25. So let's quickly go through, for those of you who are following my team, how I did for Gameweek 25. So I took a -8 hit last week and it turned out really well. Right, so -8, I scored 111 points on the triple captain. Right, so I ended the game week with a net score of 103 points, right, after I take the -8 hit away. So the game week went pretty well. I had a lot of the top scorers, so Walker in defense, Van Dijk as well. Reguilon got an assist in the first game. The second game he blanked, right, and then Foden also blanked. But aside from that, everyone else returned in the attack, right. Jota unfortunately didn't complete the game, and then Saka, Pascal Gross, Ivan Toney, Haaland and Watkins. So the only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about now is whether maybe I shouldn't have done the Solanke to Ivan Toney move, because I'm down on that move if in isolation. I took a -4 hit to bring Toney in for Solanke. So obviously Solanke hauled last week, and Toney only scored 7 points. So he will have this week to make it up for it before I bring Solanke back in again, likely for Erling Haaland in Gameweek 28, and I'll show you guys the plan for that as well. So ended on a very big green arrow, and I'm currently at 179k in the world. Right, so we're getting closer to where we want to be. And this week I haven't made my move yet. I'm in a bit of a predicament. So basically I'm just thinking whether I'm in the same predicament as everyone for this week, right? We don't have enough information for game week 29, right? The teams that are blanking, we don't have any confirmation on that. We only get the confirmation in game week 27, before game week 27, because the FA Cup games are next week. So we have to kind of make a decision in the dark. And looking at my players, I've kind of half committed already to the free hit 29 strategy. So if that's the case, then I'm thinking maybe I should move for a player that also has a fixture in 29. But that being said, I don't really think I can ignore Huang Hee-chan this week, or even Pedro Neto, because they look really good. The next few fixtures are really good as well. So this whole stream is gonna be me just trying to figure out who I should bring in for Diogo Jota. Right, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys caught on to that. Let's say hi to some of you guys in the chat. Ken George coming really early. Thank you for coming early. I was a little bit late, but glad to see that all of you guys are here already. Andrea says good afternoon. Leon, good afternoon to you as well. Good luck with game 26. Is there a chance that Garnacho can be benched today, rested for the FA Cup game against Forest on Wednesday? I honestly don't think that's going to happen, because Rasmus Højlund is now injured, right? He's not going to play in the game week 26 game that Manchester United have against Fulham. So I think they would have to start Garnacho. It's probably going to be Garnacho, maybe Anthony. Garnacho on the left, Anthony on the right, and Rashford through the middle. That's what I expect. VJ members in the chat as well. Nice to see you. Unusually sunny Watford in the UK. Wow. Roberto says here for consultation. Well, that's interesting. We should kind of it's like you guys are my clients, right? Keymaker says, hi consultant. Haven't got Watkins. Would you bring him in or go for upside and bring a Wolves player for this game week? If you haven't got Watkins, I think it's straightforward enough that you move for Watkins. Basically, if you don't have either of Solanke or Watkins and you're selling Darwin Núñez, I think it's straightforward enough that you just move for either one of them that you don't have. And for midfielders, it really depends on your strategy, right? It depends whether you are free hitting in game week 29 or not. If you are, then you have more options. If you aren't, then your options are pretty limited. Matthew, thank you very much. Looking great. H. Buckle says, good morning. Good morning to you as well. Dominique says, good morning, Leon. I have one free transfer and could simply do Darwin to Solanke. Huang seems like a great pick this week, though. Would you take a -4 to do Gordon/Palmer to Huang and Darwin to Solanke? So, in your situation, it depends whether you have 11 players just by making one move, right? If you can just... I'm looking at your team now and I'm just thinking if you can just do Gordon to Huang and field an 11 without doing Darwin to Solanke for a -4, I think I would be keen to do that. I think I'll be keen to just make that one move and then field your 11 players and then delay the Solanke move until game week 27. Right? I don't mind that as well. Because I know a lot of people are saying Darwin to Solanke is a very obvious move this week. But if you're just trying to field 11 players, if you have 11 players just by making, let's say, Jota to Huang, then you don't have to make the Darwin Núñez move. It's only if you don't have enough players, then you make the extra move. Planning Jota to Huang Hee-chan and down to Solanke from -4. Yep, exactly. So Kevin De Bruyne, Estupinian, Taylor in my plan starting 11. Should I sell any of them for a second -4? If I sell, who are the best options? So I think there's a rumor that Estupinian is going to start. It's not a strong rumor, but there is a rumor, so I'm not going to put the source. But basically, there are strong rumors that Estupinian starts. Taylor, I think there's a good chance he starts as well. He's in my starting 11. And then for Kevin De Bruyne, I think you have to make a judgment call here. It depends whether you think he'll play. The news is that he has traveled, or there are a couple of clips on Twitter saying that Kevin De Bruyne has traveled. So he is with the squad. How many minutes he'll get is just another question that we don't really know. So you have to make a judgment call as to whether you are willing to take, at best, maybe 30 minutes of Kevin De Bruyne if he comes off the bench. Are you willing to take 30 minutes of that? Or you take a -4 and go for someone else? I can't make that judgment call for you, but I can tell you what I would do in my position. If I had Kevin De Bruyne, I think I would hold on to him simply because, say he doesn't get any minutes at all, which is the worst case scenario, what you'll be faced with is potentially 10 players in a blank game week. So 10 players in a blank game week is not the worst thing in the world. Like, I'm looking at my team for game week 29. If I save the free hit, I think I'll also be fielding about 9 to 10 players. Right? So in a blank game week, I think I would probably lean, if I had Kevin De Bruyne, I'd probably lean towards keeping him. Ruli says, hello bro, took a -8 because Højlund got injured last minute. Well, that one was really unlucky. So Rasmus Højlund actually was really high up the expected points this week against Fulham without Polinia. And Manchester United doing very well, especially Højlund. And then he gets injured, right? So I think it's come at a really bad time for him as well because his form is just really, really good. His form is really good. H. Buckle says, I'm taking a punt on Bowen this week, building towards having 9 to 10 players for Game Week 29 to save my free hit. I think the free hit will be more worth it later on. So that's also my predicament, right? And also to answer just Arbot's question as well, which is whether I've made a transfer yet. I haven't made my transfer, but I'm in a little bit of a predicament. So if I can just bring up the let me just bring up Ben Krelin's spreadsheet. Ben obviously doing awesome work as always. So he's come up with a couple of flow charts. All right, so let's take a look at this tweet from Ben, right? And basically, this is the combinations or the outcomes that have to happen so that certain teams either blank or certain teams have fixtures. So the three confirmed fixtures that we have: West Ham, Aston Villa, Fulham, Tottenham, Burnley, and Brentford. So basically, if I decide that I want to go for a player that definitely plays in Gameweek 29 and then save my free hit, I have to choose a player from any one of these teams. So for me at this point, I don't mind a West Ham player. But the thing with Paqueta is looking good, right? He's back in training, he's in contention. But I'm just afraid that if he somehow gets injured, and bearing in mind as well that West Ham are involved in Europe, if Paqueta somehow gets injured, then all of a sudden I'm faced with a West Ham that isn't that good as well, right? So if I, let's say, go for Bowen or Kudus right now, I'll probably be stuck, right? And then if I look elsewhere, there's Douglas Luiz I could go for, there's Bailey as well, those are the popular ones. Now, if Tottenham had a fixture in game week 26, which is where we are right now, there's no doubt in my mind that I would move for Tottenham because they play Fulham in 29, right? But the only issue is that they don't have a fixture now, so I can't move for Tottenham players. So it really leaves me with just West Ham and Aston Villa. And then just a bit of my thoughts on the other FA Cup clashes as well. If I am to predict, I mean, the percentages are there based on the bookies' odds. Ben has put this spreadsheet together. But if I am to actually make a call on who I think would have a fixture, I think Luton and Nottingham Forest, both of them are probably gonna still have a fixture in 29 because Luton have to beat Manchester City. I don't think that's gonna happen. And then Nottingham Forest have to beat West Ham. Nottingham Forest have to beat Manchester United. So the way I see it is, for the combination for Luton versus Nottingham Forest, if you remove the Luton beat Man City combination and just take it that Man City wins, you're just left with a case where either Manchester United and Sheffield go ahead, or Luton and Nottingham Forest go ahead, right? So essentially, we will have, I feel, one more fixture there, right? And then if I take a look at the Wolves and Bournemouth one, which is the one that is if it does happen, then it would make those moving for Huang and Neto right now look really good because Wolves play Bournemouth then in 29, right? So Wolves would have to beat Brighton and Bournemouth would have to beat Leicester. Either one of these have to happen for this to become a blank. So I think there's a good chance that maybe Brighton beat Wolves, right? And then Leicester could also beat Bournemouth. And then we could have a game of Wolves versus Bournemouth. So basically, my point is to say that there is a chance that Wolves and Bournemouth still go through. And then if I make my decision now to move for either a West Ham or Aston Villa player, and then somehow Wolves and Bournemouth still does happen in 29, then I'll be kicking myself because I would rather have had a Wolves player all this while. Right, so it's a very tricky situation. That was also quite a mouthful. Right, so hopefully I managed to explain that well enough, but I'm just basically thinking about the different scenarios, and I'll talk a bit about my transfer plans for the next few game weeks moving forward as well. Let me just get back to the questions. Thinking of free hit in 29, that Wolves versus Sheffield game is too tempting. I mean, that is the whole reason why some people have already committed to a strategy, but if I'm honest, the only time that we can firm up our strategy is after the FA Cup game. After the FA Cup 5th round next week, then we can firm up our strategy because then we'll have a clear picture of game week 29, and some people will be wildcarding, some people will be free hitting in 29 for sure, some people will be wildcarding in 30 or 31, right? A lot of different strategies will come into play after next week. So as much as possible, I know it doesn't apply for all teams, but as much as possible, try to keep your chip strategy flexible, at least until next game week. Davies family says, "Hi Leon, would you play Diaby and Taylor or sell Nunes to Solanke for a -4 and bench one of..." I would start Taylor. I wouldn't take a -4 to sell Nunes to Solanke just to bench either one of Taylor or Diaby. Nah. I would start Taylor, and then I would also... Diaby to Huang is an interesting one because he does have a fixture, but I don't think he's in the starting 11 of late. So I think Diaby to Huang and play Taylor. That's probably what I'd do. What do you think about getting both Huang Hee-chan and Watkins for a -8? That looks fine, right? If it gets you to 11 players, that looks fine. Did you make a transfer yet? Nope, I haven't made a transfer. I need to decide by the end of this stream, hopefully, who I'm gonna bring in for Diogo Jota. Dream Stealer says, "Good morning. I have Estupinan and Ake. Just play them or take a -4 to replace one of them." There's a leak that is not a leak. It's not a leak. It's a rumor. There's a rumor. I have to be careful the words that I use. There's a rumor that Estupinan is starting. So make of that what you will, but it's a pretty strong rumor, right? So that's for Estupinan, and then for Ake. It's a tough call. I feel like I may just take the chance and just start him, you know. VJ says, "Let's try to get a 50 likes. If you guys haven't liked the stream, please do drop a like. We have, not sure how many likes we're on at the moment. 16 likes. If you guys could, there's 82 of you guys. If you guys could drop a like on the stream, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Do I play Dwight McNeil or Matty Cash? I mean, if you have to choose one, your team probably looks really good. Right, because some people are struggling to field 11. But the fact that you can have either one of Dwight McNeil or Matty Cash on the bench says a lot. I'd probably start Matty Cash, I feel. I'd probably start Matty Cash. Took a -4 for Huang and Solanke in, Richarlison and Darwin out, Saka captain. What do you think? I think that's fine. I think that looks like a good -4. The Saka captaincy is an interesting one though. Right, that one is... a lot of people are considering it, or not a lot. I think a lot of people will still be captaining Haaland, but there's a fair amount of people captaining Saka. There's a fair amount of people captaining Saka, so I wouldn't mind it, right? And the data backs it as well. Resigning myself to free hit. I wildcarded ages ago. I hope it works out for you. Then you have to think about how you're gonna navigate the next few game weeks then. Toby is in the chat. Toby says captaincy on Huang Hee-chan, Haaland or Saka. I'm still gonna have it on Haaland. I haven't even fixed my vice captaincy. Let me just go and sort that out. Vice captaincy for this week. I mean, Haaland most definitely plays, but I think let's just put the vice captaincy on Saka. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's also just put Konza first on the bench just for the fun of it, but he's not gonna start. All right. Where will we? Any early news? That's a good question. Let me just have a look. I thought it would come so early though. Yeah, I doubt it'll come so early. Nope. Nope, none of it. If you guys do want to see the uh, Estupinian Estupinian rumor, I can show it to you guys. Uh, it is by Luke on Twitter. He can't be certain himself, but I'm just gonna show this to you guys, and you take it with a pinch of salt. Right? This is not a leak. This is a. I feel this is a rumor. This is definitely not a leak. Right, so just thought he'd pass it on. Estupinian starts. Make of it what you will. I'm not gonna put it on for super long. I'm not gonna leave it on here for super long. Right, so I don't think we have any other news yet. I'm just checking just to be sure. Excuse me. Yeah, nothing yet, but if we get anything, I will let you guys know. For the time being, nothing much. Paul says if there is an 85% chance that Wolves versus Bournemouth is a blank, then it's a massive gamble to go for Wolves players if you're not gonna free hit in 29. Play the odds, I say. I mean, you have a point. You have a point, and that's also what's kind of stopping me from making the move. I could have made the move much earlier on, before Huang had a price rise, and also Jota recently also had a price drop. But for Jota, I was 0.1 up, so his price drop wasn't gonna affect me in any way. So it was the Huang 0.1 rise that I've lost out on. But I've just taken this time to just think about whether I really want Wang Hee-chan or not. It's kind of not a situation where I'm just purposely wanting to be different from people. I know a lot of people are going for Wang Hee-chan, but it's more a case of it not really fitting into my plans as of yet. So it's just a question of whether I can resist the temptation and then go ahead with a better plan, or at least a more firm plan to get someone in for Gameweek 29, which essentially just forces me into free hit to saving the free hit in 29. Like it just fixes my strategy basically. Like if I go for Douglas Luiz now in 26, I'm pretty much 100% gonna save the free hit in 29. Right. Okay, a lot of questions are coming in now. Thank you guys for coming so early. We are more than 3 hours till the deadline, but if you guys are here, please drop a like on the stream. That would be awesome. Please subscribe as well if you haven't done so. Would you do Palmer to Bowen and Trent to Pau Torres for a -8 to get a playing 11? The way I see that, it's actually a -4 because Trent doesn't play, Palmer also doesn't play, so I wouldn't mind it. I don't mind hits this week up to a -8 if you get to field an 11. No starting goalkeeper. Will you Petrovic to Neto, Martinez, or Flecken? Well, I saw an interesting stat on the Aston Villa defense, which is that when Kamara was out, they haven't kept as many clean sheets. Because Kamara is doing some pretty decent work for them in the midfield. But I think I would be tempted to go for a double game weaker. So I'll probably go Neto because he doubles in 28. Paul says, I feel like going for Watkins for captain. Go for it. He's a fair captaincy shout as well. Captain Watkins, Solanke, Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, Osaka. Should we do a captaincy poll? A lot of you guys are asking for captaincy. Spam in the chat who you guys want to see in the captaincy poll, and I'll put out a poll in a bit. I have Taylor, Reguilon, Saliba, Gabriel, and Walker. Who do I start? Who do I bench? You start Walker. Walker, Reguilon, and Gabriel. I'll probably go those three. KDB news, none of that yet. Can you recommend a Wolves defender long term? Has to be 8 Nuri. Archer news, I don't have any Archer news for now. Estupinian was at Deservis house for pasta last night. Take that as you will. I saw that tweet, and there's a lot of memes coming out because of that. A lot of puns as well, a lot of pasta puns. Start Gordon or Trippier. I would usually start the attacker, especially if they're playing against Arsenal. I don't think Trippier keeps a clean sheet. Neto or Huang, Wolves are very good on the counter. Everyone is on Huang, but Neto on free kicks and corners. So it's close as well. I think what sways me to Huang is just him playing out of position. There's a lot of other factors as well, like him potentially being on penalties, but him just playing out of position and playing as a striker, I think it's very hard for me to ignore, and that's also why I'm finding it hard not to move for him and to stick with my plan and move for a player that plays in game week 29. Took minus 12 for some players that are falling in price. Excuse me. For those guaranteed to rise, so I can get a better wild card later. Fair enough. Will you take a minus 4 for down to Solanke, even if you have 11 players? Starting Taylor and Estupinian, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't take a minus 4. I would just start Taylor and Estupinian based off of Luke's league. Start Taylor or Estupinian. I would start Estupinian. Medicash or Luka Dean? Medicash. But longer term, I mean, Moreno's in the squad. You don't really, with Luka Dean is even more dangerous than Konza versus Medicash for right back. So I go Medicash for now. But I don't really like both of them. If I get to choose someone else, I would go for Pau Torres. Apart from Saka, Hwang Son, which are the two best midfielders to buy on a wild card? So on a wild card, I think I would have I think I would have Garnacho actually on the wild card. Then you have Saka. You would also have Hwang. Son is fine as well. I think someone else that you can consider in the midfield. Let me just have a look. I think if you depends on your formation that you're playing, but I wouldn't mind a Spurs. You have Son as well. Let me just. The last spot is tricky actually. You can go a lot of different places with the last spot. You could, in preparation for Bournemouth's double, you could also go for Tavernier. It's a decent last spot. It really depends on your strategy. I'm behind on the questions. Solanke gets 2 points either way, so is it worth the 2 points risk for me to have him now for a minus 4? Yeah, if it helps you to field 11 players, I would do Darwin to Solanke for a minus 4. Yes. But if you're taking a minus 4 and then you're benching someone who already has a fixture, then I wouldn't. Would you transfer out Kevin De Bruyne? I would keep hold of him. I would keep hold of him because even if he doesn't start, you know that he's kind of in the squad already, and for game week 2027 he should be fine, right? So even if he doesn't start this game week, you will have 10 players for a blank game week, which is fine. Short term, which defender will you get? Wolves, Manchester United, or Villa? Short term, I'll go for Wolves. I went Douglas Luiz over Huang. Good luck, whatever you decide. I have to think about it a little bit more. May not decide on the stream. Hopefully I make the right decision, but I'll post my team on Twitter or Instagram if I don't make the transfer on the stream. I did Jota to Saka, Stupinian to Dunk, and Darwin to Solanke for a minus 8. Fair enough. Those moves look good. Stupinian might start though, so we'll see. First FPL season, 35k at the moment. That's an awesome rank. What are we saying about Son for next week? Son for next week looks really good. Saka. Alright, you guys want the captaincy poll. So let me just put out the captaincy poll. A lot of you guys asking for Saka. So I'll have Saka we will have, give me a moment, start a poll. Blank Game Week 26 captaincy poll. We'll do Haaland, of course. We'll do Haaland. We'll do Saka. A lot of you guys want him. We'll do Watkins. And we'll also do Huang. Alright, a couple of you guys want that as well. Alright, so let me know who you guys are captaining in the captaincy poll. I imagine we're going to see a lot of people captaining Erling Haaland. That's probably going to be the standout favorite. He's probably going to be the standout. Virgil van Dijk out for Moreno or Pau. I would go for Pau Torres. Haaland, Saka and Watkins. Alright, so they're all in the poll. Let's see how it goes. Ramadian says, I only need to replace Jota with Saka for a starting 11. Shall I do a -4 for Huang to maximize the home game versus Sheffield? Who will you be? So you're replacing Jota with either Saka or Huang. Am I right? Let me know if that's the case. But if it's Saka or Huang, I have to go Saka actually. I have to go Saka there. Will Lascelles start? We don't have any information. I don't think Lascelles will start though. Kudus, Bowen or Huang? So confused whom to go before FA Cup results to plan if I'm free hit 29 or not. Exactly that. I'm in the same situation as well. We'll see what I come to. I can't even advise because I haven't come to a decision myself. Basically, if I go for a West Ham or an Aston Villa player, I'm committing to a no free hit 29. If I go for Huang, I guess the option is still there to not free hit in 29, but I'll be in a more tricky situation. I'm -8. Should I wildcard instead? I wouldn't. I would just take the extra information. In 2027, you're going to have so much more information than you have now in 29. So I'll just take the extra information. Yeah, I'll just take the extra information. Peter says, hi bro, how many players is good enough for 29 you think? I think 9 to 10 is enough, 9 at the least. Keep hold of Kevin De Bruyne even if you have no other starting players? Yes, I would. I mean, basically, I would have an 11, and if Kevin De Bruyne is in there, I wouldn't mind it. I would keep hold of him. Because in the worst case, you just have 10 players, which in a blank game week is fine. It is fine. Which Crystal Palace defender and midfielder would you pick if you had to make one? Wow. This one is tricky. Palace defender, maybe Anderson, right? Gehi is out, Olise is out, Eze is out. Midfielders, I wouldn't go for any of them. Whom are you changing for Solanke? So I'll show you guys my plan. Let me show you guys my plan. Let me just bring you guys over to the transfer planner. Right, so this is fpl.team. It's a free website. It's not sponsored or anything, but do go and support fpl.team. Right, they are doing some amazing work there. Peter runs the site, right? So do show him some support as well. But for Gameweek 26, I haven't made any transfers, so I'll show you guys the predicament that I'm in. So Van Dijk is on my bench. Taylor is in here. So the Diogo Jota is the player I'm going to transfer out. So let's show you guys if I move for Huang, right? Which I think I'm 60% likely to still move for Huang, right? Just because there's still a chance. There's still a chance that he could have a fixture in Game Week 29. And in that case, if he does have a fixture in 29, I would have missed out on all these fixtures, right? So I think I would take that chance, and I think I would still move for Huang. So let's go with it for now. One transfer in Game Week 26. Come to Game Week 27, I'll likely roll. My plan is to possibly start Palmer ahead of Huang. You see, that's why I really only... The fixtures that Huang have actually fall in very nicely for my team, because I'll start Palmer here, and then Van Dijk comes into my starting 11, put Reguilon down to the bench. I could decide to start Taylor against Bournemouth or Konza if he's back fit, right? It depends. And then, so I'll roll the transfer in 27. Come to game week 28, my team does not look super good, and of course I will need Solanke. So the plan is to remove Erling Haaland now when he has Liverpool away in 28, right? And then in 29 as well, he has a blank, a very likely blank, right, against Brighton. And then 30, he plays Arsenal. So my plan is actually to not go with Haaland for this whole period of 28 to 30. So I'll remove Erling Haaland here. I'll bring Solanke in. So that's my first double game week player. Then I'll take Kyle Walker out as well because the fixtures are so bad come game week 28. So I'll probably go for Alfie Doughty. So this will all be for free, right? Because 2 transfers now in 28. And then I'll make one more move, likely Van Dijk, right? Likely Van Dijk to Senesi. Right, so I could go into game week 28 with a -4 hit with this team. Right, and then I'll find a way to fit Huang in. Right, maybe I bench Tony against Arsenal. We'll see. Right, if Konza is not fit, I'll just have to find someone on the bench. But I don't think I'll take anything more than a -4 for now. Come to game week 29. Let me just set the projected fixtures. So basically, Planet FPL, right, basically set their fixture predictions on who they think will play in 29. Right, so come to this game week, you see there Huang doesn't have a fixture because he's not predicted to have a fixture then. Doughty is predicted to have a fixture. By then, I think Konza should be fine. Reguilon is also fine. Right, so in 29, what I actually plan to do is Foden out for Son and Saka out for either one of Maddison or Richarlison. Let's say for illustration's sake that is Maddison. Right, then you see the predicament here because I've already taken a -4, which is, I think, alright. In a blank game week, I take a -4 to field more players. But if this player here, in place of Huang, had a fixture, I could just swap him in. Right, and then I would have 10 playing players in 29 with just a -4 hit, which I think I would be fine with as well. So that is the predicament that I'm in at the moment. To go for someone like Douglas Luiz, Kudus, Bowen, who have fixtures in 29, or to go for Huang. Right, so this is the predicament I'm in. I'm going to leave this on the screen for now. This is 29. Let me know what you guys think I should do. The captaincy poll as well is on 100, almost 100 votes now. It's pretty much as expected. Haaland is 64%, but Saka is at 14%. So it's interesting. It's Saka and Watkins are pretty high in the second place. Oh, Shankly says happy chop go. Happy chop go, mate, to you as well. All the best for Game Week 26. You too. Do you think Charlie Taylor starts? I think Charlie Taylor starts. I'm fielding 3 blank players, benching 3 players just for fun. It will have the automatic substitution, right? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Vincent says Arsenal, 3 times Arsenal up. 2 attackers, 1 defense, or 1 attacker, 2 defense. I'm assuming you're on a wild card. If you're on a wild card, I think I would go for 2 defenders, 1 attacker. I'll go for Gabriel, Saliba, and Saka. That's what I do. Right, let me put my team back on the screen. Looking for triple Spurs heading into Game Week 29. Would you prefer Richarlison, Son, and Maddison, or get a defender instead of Maddison? I think I would go double attack and then Udogie instead of Porro. I go for Udogie only if he's fit then. Maybe you leave Udogie to the end. Yeah. And you go for Richarlison, either one of Richarlison or Maddison, and then Son. Only transferable player I have is Gordon. Should I take him out, and for who? If it's for free, you could. I want to remove Gordon for a hit though. if Kevin De Bruyne doesn't start, would you take him out for Huang for a hit? Right. So if we get some leaks that Kevin De Bruyne doesn't start, then of course you take him out for Huang for a hit. Of course, if we get a leak. Kevin De Bruyne or McNeil in midfield. McNeil will play 90 minutes, but if Kevin De Bruyne comes on, he might only get 1 point. Well, this one has to be a judgment call. Like, you have to decide whether... So, Kevin De Bruyne has travelled. That we know of. Let me just pull up the clip as well, just for those of you who... Let me just pull up the clip. So, the account is actually Tommy Gunn on Twitter. Let me just show you guys. Right, so this is the account, right? So you see all the players. Oh, sorry, apologies. So you see all the players coming in, streaming in, and then all of a sudden Kevin De Bruyne you'll see towards the end. Let me just it's Rodri. I think it's Oscar Bob as well. Kevin De Bruyne just goes straight in, right, to the dressing room. Yeah, so Kevin De Bruyne, right? So you see him, he has travelled, he is at the Bournemouth, he is at the Bournemouth stadium, right? So I think you have to make a judgment call as to whether you think he'll start, right? Him traveling, him being in the squad obviously doesn't mean that he'll start. Excuse me. Transfer out Zinchenko for a -12 to field 11 players. I have already done a -8. It really depends. Like, -8 is a lot. It really depends for who, and if it's for the long term. Depends on your chip strategy as well. VJ says, if you were a wildcard, which 2 keepers would you select? I would have Neto, and then possibly Areola for that Gameweek 29 fixture. Because Neto could blank, or is likely to blank in 29, but he doubles in 28 for Bournemouth. So I'll probably have Neto to cover the double Gameweek 28, and then I would have Areola to cover blank Gameweek 29. Sean says, hi Leon, I can field 10 players. Should I get Huang in to replace Palmer or Solanke to replace Darwin? I'm still unsure if I'm going to free hit in 29, hoping not to free hit. Then I wouldn't move for Huang. I would actually just go Darwin to Solanke. And then Solanke has a fixture now, of course. It's not great, but at least he has a fixture. And then you are still open to making various moves in terms of your chip strategy. Like it doesn't commit you, but if you go for Huang in place of Palmer now, you're pretty much, you would have one less player in game week 29. Shall I do a -4 for Palmer to Huang? -4 for Palmer to Huang. If it feels, it does feel you one extra player, but it also depends on your strategy. A lot of these questions that you guys are asking me depends on your chip strategies. That's probably going to be the theme, and it's hard to decide. The funny thing is it's hard to decide your chip strategy as of now, but you just have to somehow either you go all out and commit to one particular strategy, which is what some FPL managers are doing. I know a couple of managers are just deciding right off the bat that they're going to save the free hit and they're going to go ahead with the plan to bring in players that play in 29. Or you just leave your options open and basically just make moves that leave you different routes later on. When would be the best time to get Palmer back? If you transfer him out now, I think you can go without him until you, let's say, wildcard in 31, 32. Bring in Odegaard for Gordon or Palmer. I wouldn't sell Palmer because he has Brentford in 27, so I'll probably do it for Gordon. Can you use your free transfers and free hit in the same game week? No. Meaning to say that you can't, if you free hit, the team that you get back the following week is your original team before any moves, basically. So you can't, basically, I get what you're trying to do, which is you want to make a transfer, and then after that, you want that move to be locked in, so that when you revert back to your original team the following week, you would still get that team with that transfer made. But unfortunately, that's not how the chip works. The moment the chip is activated, all your transfers that week get, basically, it's as if you didn't make all those transfers for that week, and then you would get your original team back next week. So unfortunately, we can't game the system that way. That would be really useful if it could, though. Any lineup leaks? Let's just check again. We could still go for quite a while, actually. I could stream until slightly closer to the deadline, maybe 2 hours before the deadline. Maybe we get something, but at least for now, I'm just refreshing just to check. I don't think we have anything for the time being. Nothing for the time being. Nothing for the time being. Don't have money for Huang Hee-chan. So is Garnacho good? Yes, Garnacho. I would go for him if you can't go for Huang and you have to go for someone cheaper. If not, taking a punt on Adingra also could be interesting. Bowen or Bailey? Both have a fixture in Gameweek 29. If I had to choose, Bailey is a little bit too risky for me, so I'll probably go for Bowen. The captaincy poll is on 73 for Haaland, by the way. 73 for Haaland. Lloyd says, hi Leon, I need an extra defender to field an 11, but it will be for a -8. Already have Gabriel, Ake, Estupinian. Who would you go for between Dalot, Saliba, Moreno, and Aït-Nouri? I probably will go for Aït-Nouri. I think he has the best fixtures, and he also has the highest ceiling because he's very, very attacking. Do I think Ake starts? Do I think John Stones starts? Let's pull up the predictions. I'm not sure if Luke has put up his predictions on the Man City lineup for now. Or maybe Alex. Right. Let's see if... Alright. So this is the predicted lineup. It's the predicted lineup. It's not the... So Alex is basically an account on Twitter. Do give him a follow. Right. He's quite established in the Manchester City field. And basically, he puts out his predictions almost every other week. It's pretty accurate of late. So Edison, Ake, Ruben Dias, Stones, and Walker. Kovacic, Rodri. Not sure where Bernardo Silva is though. But Kovacic and Rodri, Doku, Alvarez, Foden, and Haaland. So he has Kevin De Bruyne predicted not to start. Right. So make of it what you will. This is a prediction. Again, this is a predicted lineup. Right. But basically, I think these guys are able to give you a better idea of whether those players start because we don't have any leaks at the time being. Thoughts on Adingra? Can't afford Pascal Gross. I like Adingra. In fact, if I get to choose one now, I would choose Adingra. Can you please repeat your chip strategy? My chip strategy for now, I mean, obviously dependent on the FA Cup results next week, but my chip strategy for now is as much as possible. I will still try to save the free hit and not use it in 29. Use my wild card in game week 31. I'm pretty certain I will use it in 31 and not 30 because the way my team is set up, I need some Arsenal players. I would need to, by then, triple up on Man City and Liverpool as well. And game week 31 is a great week to do that after Man City and Arsenal play in game week 30. So 31 is likely when I will wild card. I wouldn't do it in 30 because Arsenal plays City. And then after using the wild card, I would free hit in 34. For the double game week, and then I would bench boost in game week 37 for the biggest double game week of the season. So that currently is the plan, right? But obviously subject to a lot of changes depending on what FA Cup results happen after next week. Is Richarlison, Saka, and Jota Huang good? Yeah, I don't mind those moves. Who will you sell for Solanke? Later on in Game Week 28, I will be selling Haaland for Solanke. Crazy, right? Crazy. Thoughts on Trossard as part of a wild card? He's a pick that I wouldn't go for, but if you're the kind of manager if you are the kind of manager that likes to take punts, I don't mind it. But if I was going for an Arsenal midfielder, I would actually go for Odegaard after I go for Saka. Like I would have Saka and then Odegaard. I wouldn't have Saka and Trossard. Kate7 says, hey Leon, do you think Darwin will be fit for Game Week 27? Hard to say. This one is hard to say. I mean, if I was Klopp, I could give you more news, but it's hard to say. I'm happy to free hit in Game Week 29. So by all means, right, for at this point of the season, is everyone's strategy is just going to differ based on how your team is looking like. For my team now, with so many Brentford players and so many Aston Villa players, I even have Konza on the bench now. I think it is a decent consideration for me to save the free hit, but for some teams, I completely understand why it would make more sense for you to free hit in 29. So really, it's very, very cliche, but it's very team dependent, chip strategies. So there's no one game week that is the best to free hit or the best to wild card or whatever. It's really dependent on your team. So if free hit 29 is the best for your team, Lloyd, then go for it. Go for it. Replacing Kevin De Bruyne next game week, would you buy Salah or Son? Next week, I would buy Son. I'll buy Son. I know that Salah, right, so again, this goes back to chip strategy, right? I know that Salah has a good fixture next week, Nottingham Forest, but then he blanks in 29. Do you need Salah to play in 29? Do you have enough players? If you do, then you can go for Salah, but if you don't, then you probably will go for Son because he has a fixture in 29. FPL Macron says, would you go Barkley to Huang or just do Darwin to Solanke? I wouldn't sell Barkley if I had him because coming up he'll have a double game week in 28. So I'll probably keep Barkley. I would do Solanke in for Darwin Núñez. Do you think Mitoma is going to play? I don't think Mitoma is going to play. He has a back injury. Back injury. Should I take a -8 hit for Estupinian to Reguilon? -8 hit for Estupinian to Reguilon. Well, the rumor is that Estupinian is going to start, so make of it what you will. There's a rumor that Estupinian starts. Areola or Flecken? For this week, maybe Flecken. I mean, I don't trust West Ham to keep a clean sheet, actually. Pickford or Areola to start? Oh, this one is tricky as well. Because I think that Brighton definitely score. Areola? Maybe Areola. Just a little bit. Should I bench Estupinian or Trippier? I would start Estupinian. Oh, man, Trippier. But rumor is that Estupinian starts. And if Estupinian starts, I would start him ahead of Trippier, who has the worst fixture. But FPL Harry is in the chat. Nice to see you, FPL Harry. Basically, Kovacic, Bernardo, and Kevin De Bruyne are all adding up to one of them playing. Oh, I see. Okay, so basically that defensive midfield position next to Rodri is either one of Bernardo, Kovacic, and Kevin De Bruyne. Makes sense. But he has Kovacic on the graphic though. Your thoughts on double Arsenal defenders or rope in Odegaard? I would prefer Odegaard for this period because the fixtures that they the fixtures that they have, I think, are better from a attacking point of view. When do you think Konza will be back? He's recovering well, based off of what Unai Emery is saying. So I think by 29, I do expect him to be back. Where is the Estupinian rumor? It's Luke's one. Let me just pull up the Estupinian rumor. Yeah, it's Luke on Twitter. So Fantasy Football Scout, Luke. So according to Mr. Lion, right, Josh Frumey, Estupinian starts versus Everton. I can't be certain about the source myself, but just thought I'd pass it on. So I think, take it with a pinch of salt, right? There's a reason there's a reason why he caveat by saying I can't be certain about the source myself, but thought I'd pass it on. So I think this part you have to consider. It's definitely not 100%. Is Mitoma back from injury? Nah, Mitoma is having a back injury at the moment, so he's probably not gonna start. I wouldn't be comfortable starting him this week at least. Start Pickford or Areola. I think I would start Areola. Where's that Estupinian rumor? It is by Luke. Yeah, seen it on Luke's Twitter. He says he is not certain. Yeah, exactly. But I just thought I'd share it here. It's a rumor. It's 100% not something that you should completely rely on, right? You should kind of just take it with a pinch of salt. Huang or Neto on a wild card, keeping in mind Salah funds will need to be shifted. Well, Huang is 0.2 million cheaper. But I think I would just go for Huang. I think for me, Huang is the better pick than Neto for a lot of reasons that many people have already pointed out. But I think I would just go for Huang if budget is even a bit of your concern, right? Because he's cheaper and he's technically the better pick. Let me just do a check if we have any leaks whatsoever. But I honestly doubt so. I honestly doubt we will. Yeah, nothing of this sort. It's too early. Is Tony a better transfer than Solanke, considering you are going to bench Tony in 28? So Tony for the next two better than Solanke. I would say marginally yes, right? Because the Man City fixture, I don't expect Solanke to get anything. Burnley is the better fixture, but when I look at Tony against West Ham now, and then he has Chelsea at home in Gameweek 27. When I add these two fixtures, Chelsea is not the easiest game, but we have been leaking goals as well this season. So I think marginally, Tony is better than Solanke for the next two. It's close. Any suggestions for Jota and Palmer replacements around the same price? So this one is a lot of it is going to depend on your chip strategy, right? If you aren't going to free hit in 29, then your options are pretty limited. If you want to save the free hit, then you have to look at Aston Villa, West Ham, or all West Ham attackers, right? But if you are going to free hit, then your options are a little bit more diverse. You have the Arsenal midfielders, you have Wolves midfielders that you could go for. if you're on a wild card now, what would your midfield 5 be? Keeping Salah and other templates in mind. Well, I actually haven't done up a wildcard draft, so I don't think I would be in a good position to advise. I usually do wildcard videos. I usually do it, but I just haven't been able to find the time to. I'll definitely do one for Gameweek 27 though, so hopefully that one will be helpful. KDB should start, just a precaution benching against Brentford. Remember when he got injured, Pep forced him to play, and he wouldn't make the same mistake again. He's not injured. I mean, all of this is speculation, right? We don't really know, but you kind of have to make a judgment call. I feel if you have Kevin De Bruyne, you just have to make a decision whether you think he starts, and if you think he starts, then you could. If you think he starts, you can just keep him. If you don't, then maybe you just take him out. Maybe you just remove him. But what I will say is that 10 players in a blank game week 26, having 10 players is not the worst thing in the world. I think for myself, I will probably have 10 players in blank game week 29 if I don't use it. If I don't use the free hit then. Man, Odegaard or Neto. On a wildcard, I think I would have Huang. I don't think I would go for Neto. Odegaard. Right, so you see, it depends on how you're wildcarding. If you're wildcarding with a plan to free hit in 29, which is not it's not impossible. Like I've seen a couple of wildcard drafts by some other creators on YouTube, on Instagram. Some of them have a wildcard draft set up such that they still plan to free hit in 29, so that they're not limited by their options. And in that sense, you could go for, you have much more players that you can go for, basically. I think FPL Fran as well, who's doing really well this season, is on a wild card for Game Week 26. So do head on over to his channel later on. I'm sure he'll be finalizing his wildcard draft on stream, right? So do check FPL Fran out. He's on a wildcard for Game 26. Absolutely flying this season as well. So hopefully he wins this. Do you think Stones starts? Let me look at Alex's predictions again, but he has John Stones to start, 80%. Right, so I can't comment too much. I think 80% is kind of enough for me, honestly, to think that John Stones would start. But again, predictions. We don't have any leaks yet. Everything so far is either predictions or rumors. For the Estupinian one, that's obviously a rumor as well. Would you rather sell Van Dijk or Porro? Van Dijk. I'd rather sell Van Dijk because Porro could be back in time for Game Week 29. Who is the best replacement for Mitoma? I have 3 million in the bank. Again, depending on your chip strategy. But if you have 3 million, loads of options there. You could go for Huang. You could go for, depending on your strat, or if you're not free hitting in 29, you could go for West Ham players. You could go for Bowen, Kudus, Douglas Luiz, Bailey. I wouldn't go for Bailey. I don't think Bailey is a player I would go for now. Especially after Aston Villa drew Ajax, if I'm not wrong, in the in Europe, basically. I mean, we could see massive rotation for Aston Villa then. When will you be getting Salah? Salah will come back into my team on the wildcard. So I won't have him all the way until Game Week 31, unfortunately. Hello, your stream is a little bit early. Well, we're always early. On this channel, we're always early. We're 1 hour ahead of when everyone else usually streams, right? So that we don't clash with them. I usually just stream 3 hours before and then I end the stream 2 hours before the deadline. Right, so that has been going pretty alright. I think you guys, most of you guys at least, enjoy coming down slightly earlier. So we'll see how this goes for the next few game weeks. I'm planning to sell Palmer, and I'll have 6 million to spend on the midfielder. Any suggestions? You're not free hitting in 29, thinking of Huang or Douglas Luiz. If you're definitely not free hitting in game week 29, I go for Douglas Luiz. Worth it to take a hit to take Estupinian out. So again, for Estupinian, I'll just say there's a rumor that he starts, but make of it what you will. If you think he doesn't start, then you can remove him. Pick one: Jota, Palmer, Lascelles out for Saka, Garnacho, Pau. Or Jota, Kevin De Bruyne, Lascelles to Saka, Douglas Luiz, Saliba. I think I marginally prefer the Saka, Douglas Luiz, and Saliba one. Marginally. What will your team look like in game week 29? Well, potentially. Let me just put up my. I've already worked out the transfers, right? Let me just. Yeah, so potentially it could look something like this. And of course, that's kind of the reason why I'm holding back on Huang, because I could save the free hit in game week 29 and get to a team like this. With a -4 hit in 29, of course. So I get to a core structure of about, these. I have Tony. I already have Tony. I have Reguilon as well. Konza's on my bench for now. Hopefully by 29 he's back. And then I have Taylor, I have Areola, Watkins as well. So the core players are here. The players that I'll be missing out on, I don't think would hurt me so much that I need to take an even bigger hit just to bring them in. Right. Maybe the West Ham players if West Ham comes back in form, but if not, aside from that, I think I should be fine. So it's really for me a question of whether I want in this position a player other than Huang Hee-chan so that I can have at least 10 players in 29. Right. So because if let's say I go for Bowen now in game week 26, then this would be how my squad looks like in game week 29. Which looks alright as well. Right, so I'm kind of in a predicament. It's hard to decide. I will take a while more to think about it. Very, very tricky. Very, very tricky. When you go for Bowen or James Ward-Prowse, I would definitely go for Bowen ahead of James Ward-Prowse. Why wouldn't you free hit in game week 29? Is there another game week when it's needed? So game week 24, game week 34 is when the other, is when it's another popular week to free hit, because firstly, it's likely that the teams that double in game week 34 aren't gonna double in game week 37. But there's also another train of thought that the teams doubling in game week 34 are not worth the free hit. So let me just bring up the predicted fixtures. It's a little bit small. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger. Right, so this is the predictions by Planet FPL, right? So aside from Ben Krellin, Planet FPL also does a lot of fixture planning, so do check them out. And they have worked together with fpl.team on the fpl.team transfer planning website to basically put up their predictions of what at the moment they think is the most likely fixture predictions for 29, for 34, for 37. And if you take a look, the teams that double in 34, the argument is that people already would have triple Arsenal by then, right? Because for myself as well, I would likely have triple Arsenal in game week 34 as well, because I would be wildcarding in 31 most likely, and then I definitely have triple Arsenal. So, and then Crystal Palace and Everton, are they very worth it to use the free hit and then bring these Crystal Palace and Everton players who are doubling for a not a double game week that isn't as great, right? Because Crystal Palace have West Ham and Newcastle, and then Everton have Nottingham Forest and Liverpool, right? So again, is it worth it? And then the Sheffield United double as well, Burnley and Manchester United. So that's the argument. But the other argument is that these teams don't double in 37, right? 37, you have Bournemouth doubling. You're likely going to have Brighton doubling as well. Who else do they have? Chelsea, Fulham, Liverpool. Right, basically it's a very, very big double game week. And most of these teams actually don't double in 34. So what you could do is just to free hit in 34, set up your team perfectly, and then in the lead up to, in every other transfer from, let's say, game week 31, which is when our wild card, all the way up till 36, I can just keep setting up for the game week 37 bench boost. So that is the argument for a game week 34 bench boost. So, sorry, a game week 34 free hit, my bad. So lots of different ways that you could play this, but again, it's going to be, you guessed it, team dependent and chip strategy dependent as well. -4, Watkins and Jota out for Huang. I mean, Darwin and Jota out for Watkins and Huang. Yeah, I would do that. I would make that move. Mark says, who would you bring in for Van Dijk? Aït-Nouri, Pau Torres, or Reguilon? I would do Aït-Nouri. Ball. Feel for you, Console. A lot of questions around who to move for, but it's so tricky without context on people's chip strategy up to 29. Great stream. Well, thank you very much. And it's exactly as you said. A lot of the transfers that you're gonna make is so, firstly, team dependent, chip strategy dependent, and it's just, a bit of your kind of management style as well. Do you want to go for a differential? You want to go for players that people aren't going for? Are you free hitting in 29? All of this different stuff adding together. Loads of different ways you could go. By the way, if you guys haven't liked the stream yet, please do drop a like if you are enjoying it, or if I've managed to get to your questions. There's only 78 likes on the stream, so if you could get to 100, that would be awesome. I just want to get to 100 and I'd be a happy man. And then I also want to finalize my transfer. Like, if I can just decide on who to bring in, that would be great as well. My issue is that I don't want to be losing out on points for Huang, and then losing out on points for Huang if I don't go for him and prioritize someone that has a fixture in game week 29, right? And then the other way that I can see it is going for Huang is not part of my strategy. Right? It's if I want to save the free hit in 29, I have to go for someone that has a fixture there. So it's very, very tricky. Let me just try this on and see how I feel. It is after all the most likely move that I'm gonna make. So Bowen, Huang, or Bailey if no free hit 29. If you have set your team up in such a position that you are definitely not going to free in 29, then don't go for Huang. I just haven't decided, and that's the issue with my situation. I haven't decided. I could still free hit in 29. And the thing with Huang is that it's not 100% that he blanks in 29 as well. That's the tricky thing. Like, if at the end of the day, next week, the FA Cup pans out and the way the fixtures fall, or the way the results fall, Huang has a fixture in has a fixture in 29, then I just look absolutely stupid. And I would have missed out on Huang's points against Sheffield as well, or potential points against Sheffield. Raya or Areola, who do I start? I'd actually take a chance on Raya, if I'm honest. Do you think Kevin De Bruyne out for Foden is worth a -4? Nah, I don't think so. I have exactly 11 players playing with Estupiñán, Trippier and De Bruyne in the team. Should I take one of them out on free transfer or save for next week? I think Trippier is absolutely fine for this week. We are just trying to get 11 players out. That's it. So as long as they have a fixture, it's good enough. Estupiñán, there is a rumor that he starts. Then Kevin De Bruyne is kind of a judgment call whether you think you want to remove him or not. If you have a free transfer, what I'll be tempted to do is just remove De Bruyne for someone for free. Watkins or Saka as captain? Well, the captaincy poll is on 71% Haaland right now, and I think I'm likely going to go Haaland as well. So, but if it's between Saka and Watkins, I would go for the penalty taker, so I go for Saka. Are you tempted to grab Garnacho as a bench fodder and potential Gameweek 29 enabler? Well, come Gameweek 29, if he has a fixture, I could go for him, but I don't have enough transfers leading up to Gameweek 29 such that I can bring Garnacho in any earlier. I just don't have the transfers for these. I've only got 3 confirmed players for Gameweek 29. I've used all my chips, so what do I do? Please help me. Then I think you definitely have to start planning for Gameweek 29. All your transfers leading up till then, you have to kind of plan around it. And also, then you have to balance as well, because going for everyone that plays in 29 also means that you're focusing on a few teams as well. But you have to make it such that after Gameweek 29, you're able to navigate the fixtures as well. So it's tricky. Who is the best captain? I can't decide Haaland, Watkins or Saka. The poll says Haaland 71%. Saka or Watkins? If it's between Saka or Watkins, I would choose Saka. -4 to field 11 players. Yes, I would do that. Scott Bryan says liked. Thank you very much. We are on... Let me just check the like count. We are on 100 likes. So thank you very much, everyone, for liking the stream. I really appreciate it. I rarely hit 100 likes on the stream, to be honest. Very, very rarely. So thank you very much. Are you selling Van Dijk? Not for this week. I'm selling Jota for this week. I'm selling Jota this week. I honestly think, like, I just bite the bullet and I just go for Huang. I may just make the transfer on stream. The thing that does it for me is that it's not confirmed that he blanks in 29. Like, there is a 15%. Let me just check the... Let me just check Ben Krelin's fixture planner. There is a very... Okay, 15% is not very decent, but there is a chance. 15%, 14.6% chance to be exact, that Wolves and Bournemouth still go ahead. And if that is the case, I think I wouldn't mind Huang against Bournemouth even. Alright, so I think I've kind of talked myself into it. I've kind of talked myself into making this move. Alright, so time to make the move before we end the stream. I'll be ending in a bit, so if you are watching and you haven't dropped your question or I haven't got to your question yet, unfortunately, if I've missed it, just drop it in the chat and then I'll get to it, but I'll just confirm my transfers first. Alright, so Diogo Jota out for Huang Hee-chan for 0 points. But basically what this means is that I'll be hoping that Wolves have a fixture. If not, by then I may only be able to field 9 players, I think. Let me just check. 9 players. in 29, 9 players. We'll see. We'll see how that happens, but I have to take the chance on the fixtures that Huang has right now. You guys are asking me not to go for Huang. Feel there's so much upside. Going for Gameweek 29 players enables you to hold on to a free hit for a big double. Daniel, seems like I missed your question. If I missed the question, let me know what it is. I apologize for that. There's a lot of people in the chat today, so I really appreciate it. I apologize if I have missed a couple of questions. Man, it is difficult. It is difficult. Jota out for Huang, or Jota for Douglas Luiz? Okay. Let's not. All right. I'm gonna put out a poll, and I'm gonna do what you guys think I should do. Right. So let me just end the captaincy poll because everyone is gonna do Haaland. Okay. Let me just ask you guys. Okay. Please help me out here. What should I do? What should I do? Okay. Jota to Huang or Jota to Douglas Luiz. Not planning to free hit 29. Alright. I've only given you guys 2 options. It's Huang or Douglas Luiz. I'm not going for anyone else. No Neto, no Bailey, no West Ham players. None of that. It's Huang or Douglas Luiz. Let me know what you guys think I should do. And I think I just go with the poll, if I'm honest. I've delayed my decision this whole week. Even taken a minus, not a minus. Even taken a 0.1 price rise for Huang, just to give myself more time to think. By the way, there's 300 of you guys in the stream today, so thank you guys for coming down. I think this is the highest for this season, so thank you guys for coming down. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please do drop a like. Please do subscribe as well. And I think more importantly, you don't have to subscribe. You don't have to like. Just help me vote and tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do. Because I honestly don't know what to do now. Huang is leading the way by quite a margin, honestly. Huang is good now, but not that important for the Gameweek 29. Put Bowen as well. I don't want to go for Bowen, to be honest. Right, let me just, while you guys are helping me out in voting, which I really appreciate, just make sure to drop any questions that you guys think whatsoever, which I honestly don't think we will, but let's see. I have no idea what to make of this. What do you guys make of this? FPL Main Road is basically the account that leaks the most reliable, I mean along with FPL Tony of course, but they leak the most reliable Man City team news. And this is what they're saying. This is what they're saying. I mean, this is what FPL Main Road is saying. 6th game in 20 days. If this is not an indication of rotation, I have no idea what it is. But I'm hoping Kyle Walker starts. I'm hoping, because I have Kyle Walker. Man, okay. Let's. I'll wait for you guys to vote, right? But I'll come back to this screen. I'll wait for you guys to vote. Is KDB a sell? It's not straightforward. It's dependent on what you think. I mean, hopefully we get some leaks later on, but it's dependent on how many minutes you think he gets. If I had him, I would keep. If I had him, I think you release Walter and get Douglas Luiz. Toby says Douglas Luiz is the one. Kevin De Bruyne is not a sell this week for a hit, but definitely move to Son from next week onwards. Yeah, I agree with that. What to do with Trent, Jota, and Adebayo? I think Adebayo you keep for a while more. Trent and Jota, I think you sell this week. George Victor says, hey Consult, Huang just got onto my radar recently. Check out this plan. Darwin to Solanke this week. Roll the second transfer so I can do Trent to Senesi and Rodri to Odegaard in 27 for free. Yeah, I don't mind that. It looks okay. Will you take a -4 hit to move Estupinian to Gabriel? No. Because there is a rumor. Because of the rumor that Estupinian could start. It's a rumor. Again, it's a rumor. Foden is the question. Nah. No way. If Foden is benched, if Foden and Walker are both benched, I'm done. I really hope. Let me just check any team news. You can be sure that for the next 2 hours I will still be refreshing the team leaks. Not that I'll be making any transfers, but I'll just be sad. Richards is an option against Burnley, 3.9 defender. Then we get Salah next week. Do you really want to get Salah next week? Because after he blanks, even though he blanks in 2029. Solanke for Nunes is fine, yep. Bench 1, Trippier, Taylor, Estupinian. Taylor. Yeah, Taylor. I already have 11 playing players at the stands. Do I buy Bowen for a -4 to play this week and plan for 29, or just play Taylor this week for free? Definitely Taylor this week for free. You fielding 11 players is already a good thing this week. You don't have to take a -4 to cherry pick the players that you want. Hey, in my league, all 5 opponents have Haaland captain this week. Take a risk and play Huang as captain. Well, for me, Haaland is still the best captain. And this thing about going different, I prefer to go different, with captaincy, not on a week when Haaland has Bournemouth, but I feel like I would go different if, let's say, Haaland has a iffy fixture, a fixture that I don't think he'll score a lot in, which is not a lot. Like, maybe, let's say, which team is doing decently well defensively now? Right, let's say Haaland versus Aston Villa, let's say. And then there's another decent option for captaincy, then I would go there. But in a week where he has Bournemouth, I don't think I would go different. But if you're really just, chasing, manager of the month, or you're chasing, different things for your mini leagues, then you could. A lot of us play for different reasons. Garnacho or Adingra. I prefer Adingra. Huang could be a good captain. I mean, go for it if you want Huang. Oh my days. I have to make a decision now. A lot of you guys are voting for Huang. And I actually think I will go there. Just need to convince myself. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. It's Huang. I'm gonna make the transfer and then we are going to end the stream so that at least I can show you guys my final team before we end the stream, because I honestly think I will go for this move. I don't think I will go different anymore. So here we go. The play free hit. Right, I have no idea if I'm back. Let me know if I'm back. Let me know in the chat if I'm back or not. My internet just lagged out. Alright, am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Man, internet just died. Alright, we back. Transfer. Alright, still have my 1 free transfer. Alright. I guess it gives me more time. I don't know, maybe they didn't want me to move for Huang. It gives me more time. But I think I'll still move for Huang. Alright, I'll make the move. Give me a moment. I'll make the move later on since I still have a bit more time. I'll post my final lineup on the... I'll post my final lineup on Instagram since I have more time. Right, I have no idea why my internet just lagged out, so I apologize for that. Let me just catch up on the chat in case I missed out anything. I think I was frozen for quite a while. Yeah, I think I was frozen for quite a while. Man, it's a sign. It's a sign. Should I not move for Huang then? Oh my days. It's a sign to go for... Wow, you guys are all saying it's a sign. So tempted to move a DS Bowen. You guys are hilarious. You guys are hilarious. Okay, I have no idea what to do now. So, now I'm honestly like rethinking whether I should make the move or not. I'm not superstitious or anything, but okay, I'm gonna use the next 2 hours. We're gonna end the stream here. I apologize for the abrupt intermission just now, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna think about it for at least an hour or so just to confirm it, and then if you guys follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I'll post my final team there definitely before the deadline, right? But if not, again, sorry for disappearing all of a sudden. Hope you guys have a great Game Week 26. I'm sure a lot of the other FPL creators are streaming now. FPL Harry, FPL Raptor, or FPL Focal. Everyone is streaming right now, so do check them out. FPL Friend as well, who's doing really well. Those of you on a wild card, do make sure to check out FPL Friend's channel because he is wild carding in Game Week 26 and he's flying through the season. So do go over there, right, and just check out his channel and support him. So here we go. This is it. I'll leave it here and I will see you guys for the Game Week 27 content. I know the content on the channel has dropped off a little bit in the past few game weeks, but that's because work has been getting a little bit busy. But for Game Week 27, I'll definitely have quite a couple of videos out, because Gameweek 27 is very important in terms of chip strategy planning, and also in terms of a wildcard draft. It'll be quite useful for you guys as well. So I'll be sure to have those two out: a chip strategy video, a wildcard video, and then my usual transfer plans and team selection. But if not, there we go. Thank you for tuning in. Again, thank you for coming down, spending your Saturday with me, and all the best for Gameweek 26. I will catch you guys in more FPL content for Gameweek 27 very, very soon. Bye-bye.